Good afternoon. I'm here to talk to you about faith, faith to be pure and righteous. Let me start by asking us why we need to have faith to be pure and righteous. Brothers and sisters, no, not brothers and sisters, just the brothers. Brothers, we are God's instrument of change. We were called to change the world. Let me tell you about my experiences in the world. Alone, by myself, I know of 5 men, 5 women who are victims of molestation, victims of sexual predators, individuals whose lives have been changed because of abuse while they were still children. At one point, I had an opportunity to work at the Home for Juvenile Delinquents. It's a place where minors are sent to for crimes that they have committed. I have been exposed to children, 12-year-old boys who have committed 8 counts of rape, a 17-year-old who's committed 7 counts of frustrated murder. That is the society we live in. And this is when I was still in college. Perpetrators of such crimes are men they personally know. So why do we need to have faith to be pure and righteous? Because we are the hope of our nations. We are God's ambassadors for change. In Psalm 119, in verse 1 to 2, you all know this by heart. It talks about how blessed are those whose ways are blameless, who walk according to the law of the Lord. Blessed are those who keep his statutes and seek him with all their heart. Happiness comes to someone who lives according to the words of God. Happiness, peace, and contentment comes to the person who walks according to the word of God. And in verse 9 to 11 says, how can how can a young person stay on the path of purity? By living according to your word. So why do we need to change? Because we cannot change the world if we are of the world. The way to change the world is to change ourselves. And to have faith to change, we need to embrace the words of God. In the same passage, it talks about how in verse 11, I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. The psalmist's secret to staying pure and righteous in the eyes of God was to hide God's words in his heart. That has kept him from straying or from living according to the world. Like I said, if you are to change the world, you cannot be of the world. So I share this because this gives me hope. This gives me hope that by having the integrity to live lives that are pure and righteous in the eyes of God, there will be hope, real hope for our nations. During the pandemic, I started a non-Christian Facebook page because we were all locked down. I had to have a way to reach out to people. So I started a non-Christian Facebook page. And it was so dark. It's gloomy. The things that these individuals post. My only criteria for inviting them to become my friends are if they lived in the southern part of Metro Manila. That's the region I used to live. So if you're from these cities, I would invite you to be my friend. And that was my only criteria. And I was so disappointed. I was discouraged because I did something like that. Because I would see on a daily basis, not daily basis, every time I'd open my non-Christian Facebook page, non-Christian posts. Hey, Jesus was with the sick. He was not always with those who did not need the doctor, right? So the world needs hope. The world needs people who will uphold purity and righteousness. And I don't want to go Okay, that's my time's up. But I want to be able to say, children imitate the adults. If you live undisciplined lives, if you break traffic rules, if you do things that are unrighteous because you think no one's looking at you, guess what? You're passing on the same message to the next generation. Whether you know it or you don't, people, children most especially, look up to you. We need to have faith to be pure and righteous because we are the hope of the world. There are many more scriptures that I want to share, but I'm limited. I'll leave you with these three practicals: openness, brokenness, and accountability. Be open, fight to be broken, and beg someone to hold you accountable in the areas of your purity and righteousness. To God be the glory.